All right, welcome back. As I said in the last video, I'm going to go out and test the new Gen 2 or the NextGen Tuner. I believe is what it's technically called, the EC Tuner brake, versus the original Gen 1 or their PRS model. Just super quick before hopping into the range footage, just wanted to show the real slight differences that we have here. Both of them do taper down to fit like an MTU contour or Proof Sendero, so pretty popular contours. Both do have a little set screw here. This is a self-timing nut, so they're super easy to get on nice and straight. The tuner itself, or the weight on it, I think the profile is a little bit bigger here on the NextGen, a little bit wider. And then I think the ports themselves are, it might be tough to tell, are a little bit bigger or a little bit more aggressive on this NextGen. So I'll see if I can tell a difference in the recoil. Those are the main differences. The only other thing is the Gen 1 or the PRS model has 3 set screws on the tuner or the weight here that you would have to loosen before changing the settings and then retighten again. I think a few people were kind of complaining that was a hassle, so that's where they went to this new model that does not have the set screws. I personally like the set screws. I know if I tighten all 3 of them, it's not going anywhere. And I felt like with the Gen 2, I had a different one originally, and I felt like it could be turned or bumped or something like that and change the setting. But with this one, I mean, it feels super tight to where you have to apply quite a bit of pressure to change it. So all you would do, this has a spring in here, so it's under spring tension. So essentially you would just come in and turn it here to the next setting. So, you know, if you take it all the way off, again, it has a little spring in here, and that's where it keeps the tension. But I'm not sure if it was maybe just the one I had originally, but this one seems to have a lot more tension. I don't feel like I could bump it or turn it on accident. So again, that's the main difference. What I will be doing is starting on setting 0 here and then turning it out away. So it'll actually be going back to setting 8. You go every 2. So 8, 6, 4, 2, back to 0, and so on. And then with the Gen 1, I'll be starting at 0, going to 2, and all the way around back to 0. So we'll go ahead and head to the range and show kind of the live results of these. And again, as always, if you have any questions about the brake or anything I'm shooting, any gear, anything like that, throw it in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But let's hop over to the range and see the results. Thank you. We'll start out with the NextGen Tuner, shooting from left to right, and then we'll move on to the PRS or the Gen 1 on the bottom, again moving from left to right. Unfortunately, I did pull the 3rd shot on the first group insanely bad, so I did shoot a 4th shot on that first group just to make it a fair test. All right, so we did just get back from the range, doing a couple tests actually, but here's the tuner test that you just saw me shoot. Just to get all the excuses out of the way, shot group 8 and 6 here through some really bad mirage. Wind was perfectly calm, so those could have been a little bit tighter. They might have been the exact same. I'm not really sure. Wind did pick back up for the remainder of the groups, so those are the only 2 that I shot through a real bad mirage. As I said, pulled that one embarrassingly bad, so I wanted to shoot a 4th just to give it a kind of a fair assessment. That was my fault. I mean, you can see kind of what I was talking about, how it starts small, opens, gets smaller again. You know, realistically, I think these ones should have been a little bit tighter. You know, this one more so kind of relating back to 0, maybe opening up a tad, maybe a tad more, and then back. So either way, you know, you can obviously see that it is affecting the groups just by turning that little knob. You know, similar results with the PRS or the Gen 1 model here at the bottom. Started very similar group. Open up just a little bit. And this is kind of how I think this number 8 group should look, maybe a touch bigger. And then 4 and 6 here were pretty similar. Then 4 and 6 here again. Obviously that was a very good group, small sample size of 3 shots, but this one was a little bit open with that flyer there. You know, then it kind of started to close back down here, at least vertical spread wise. So I'm pretty sure if we would have kept testing, you know, a couple more groups past 0 here, you would have seen it start to shrink back up and kind of get back over here and reset the process. This is also kind of a perfect example of what I talked about before the range, where, you know, if this is your best group, you know, for example, this is maybe shooting like a 4 or 6 group here. If this is the best and it doesn't get any better throughout here, but it is affecting your groups, that is still working. You know, obviously these groups here are pretty tight, so it did show it off a little bit better. But either way, like I said, they do work. They do affect your barrel harmonics, which is exactly what they're supposed to do. Did I see a difference between the NextGen and the PRS, or the Gen 1, Gen 2? Can't say I did. Again, small sample size, only 6 groups per. But you know, if I had unlimited ammo and time, maybe shoot a bunch more and keep going to kind of see. So I think this shows off that they work, how they work. Again, I run them on all my barrels now. If I am hand loading, the goal is to get to here and shoot on 0. So, you know, I was fire forming some brass and breaking in a barrel today. So these were not verified loads. Standard deviations were really good. Obviously, some of the groups were not. So either way, I wanted to just kind of show everyone that maybe someone's on the fence of, you know, purchasing a tuner brake. Maybe someone is unaware of what they are, and this might turn them onto it. Either way, I do think they work. I personally run them. I have shot with a ton of great shooters that do not, so to each their own. But this kind of shows you what they do and how they work. So if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments. Otherwise, we will see you guys next time. Thank you.